50, much as I hated him 8 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Which we more than cool now. 50 was like, what game? No. Like, let me get Game. Don't cut Game.
Wow.
We're going to take Game on tour. We need a member of, like, you know, G-Unit is from the West Coast. We got Buck from the South. Me, Yayo, and Banks are from the East. Like, Game would be perfect.
Few rappers in hip-hop history have mastered chaos like 50 Cent. He doesn't just make music, he builds entire storylines, complete with villains, betrayals, and blockbuster-level drama. But behind all the hit records, viral moments, and legendary beefs, there's a darker story. One that played out live on New York radio and on one of the biggest stages in hip-hop history, Hot 97's Summer Jam. From full-on riots to public bans, from street beefs that spilled into the studio, to betrayal within his own circle. 50 Cent's relationship with Hot 97 has been a non-stop roller coaster of dominance, downfall, and defiance. And to understand it, we have to rewind, way before the glitz, back to the streets of Queens. Before the platinum plaques and movie deals, 50 Cent was already a legend in Southside Jamaica, Queens. He wasn't known for music, he was known for running the block. Everyone around him said the same thing. 50 was a hustler first, rapper second. People in his neighborhood saw him as the real deal, the guy who lived everything he rapped about.
What about Chef G?
Oh, I love Chef G.
What
Chef
about
G, Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow,
Chef G. They don't love us too much.
No.
Because y'all don't play the records. Y'all don't play the records.
that's
And it's
not
lit.
why. That's not why.
And it's lit.
No, that's not why.
records. The
That's not
records get
why.
played.
That's not why.
While other rappers exaggerated street tales, 50's name carried weight because he had actually been there. Old associates remember rolling with him, holding down the block with guns, money, and a purpose. To them, 50 was a boss before he ever stepped into a studio. When he finally did, New York embraced him instantly. Not because he was polished, but because he was authentic. By the late 90s, 50 was already infamous locally. And when How to Rob dropped, he went from neighborhood legend to national headline. Fast forward to 2003, 50 Cent had officially taken over. His debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', was dominating everything. Charts, streets, clubs, you name it. That summer, he stepped onto the Hot 97 Summer Jam stage with a plan to make history, and he did it the 50 Cent way with Smoke. Just like Jay-Z once humiliated Mobb Deep's Prodigy on the big screen years earlier, 50 Cent used the same playbook, this time targeting Ja Rule.
Yeah. I'm wondering, what's the biggest check you think you've ever turned down?
I've turned down probably like a $6-7 million tour because I was trying to hit legend on 2K.
On that stage, in front of 50,000 people, he clowned Ja Rule, mocked his biggest hits, and had the entire crowd laughing, pointing, and losing their minds. It was brutal, but it worked. 50 Cent owned Summer Jam that night, and his feud with Murder Inc. officially became hip-hop legend. But what nobody realized then was that this performance marked the beginning of a decade-long war between 50 Cent and Hot 97 itself. A year later, June 12, 2004, 50 returned to Summer Jam, riding even higher. But what was supposed to be another victory lap quickly turned into chaos. As 50 performed, the crowd was electric until a chair came flying toward the stage. Then another, then another. The concert turned into a near riot with people throwing bottles, chairs, and anything they could grab. And at the center of it all, one of 50's former associates, Bang'em Smurf. Smurf had been one of 50's close friends from Queens, but they'd fallen out over business. So when Summer Jam came around, Smurf decided to make a statement. He bought 20 front row tickets for himself and his crew, just so 50 would see them up close.
The next time you heard of me and 50 anything was having a shootout at Hot 97 in the snow. I had on Converse running in the snow.
What?
I must have slipped 80 times trying to get to the Escalade. We was busting.
He didn't plan on starting a fight, at least that's what he later claimed. But once the taunting began, 50 noticed. The tension was thick. According to Smurf, 50 stayed on the opposite side of the stage, avoiding their section. Then 50 snapped. He grabbed a water bottle and splashed it toward the front row. Smurf's crew went wild, throwing chairs and shirts onto the stage, shouting G-Unit disses. One of 50's guys even caught a flying chair mid-performance, like something out of an action movie. After the smoke cleared, the damage was done. Summer Jam was over and Hot 97 had just witnessed one of its most violent nights ever. The fallout was immediate. Bang'em Smurf was banned for life from Hot 97 and Summer Jam. And 50 Cent, the man who just dominated the biggest rap stage in the world, was banned too. 10 years. Gone. But the story didn't stop there. Around the same time, a new name was rising on the West Coast. The Game.
they wasn't sure what to do with him at Interscope, and that's why they signed him to G Unit to give him some validation and some, you know what I mean? I remember that whole shit. I remember I was in the W, that whole shit, and he was telling me, yo, they about to sign me to G Unit.
Handpicked by Dr. Dre and signed to Aftermath, the Game was talented but struggling to find direction. That's when 50 stepped in. He recorded 6 songs for Game's debut album, the documentary West Side Story, How We Do, Hate It or Love It, Church for Thugs, Special, and Higher. Those records changed everything. They made Game a star overnight. But behind the scenes, cracks started to form. 50 felt he wasn't getting enough credit. He publicly claimed he wrote those songs and crafted Game's image from scratch. Game, on the other hand, argued that 50 only wrote hooks and the verses they shared, nothing more. Then things got worse. Game started getting friendly with rappers 50 had beef with. Nas, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, and his manager Jimmy Henchman was one of 50's biggest enemies. It was a recipe for disaster. On March 2005, everything boiled over.
How is your relationship with 50 Cent now?
I haven't seen him in about 8 years. So.
Was there a rift?
There was a rift. We had a shootout.
50 went on Power 105 and announced live on air that the Game was officially kicked out of G Unit. The hip-hop world went crazy. A few days later, 50 appeared at Hot 97 with Funkmaster Flex to explain himself. But what he didn't know was that Game and his crew were already on their way there, reportedly sent by henchmen to confront him. Outside the Hot 97 building, things exploded. Security tried to stop Game's entourage from entering, and shots were fired. One of Game's associates was hit in the leg. Suddenly, Midtown Manhattan looked like a war zone. The headlines the next morning were wild. People started calling the station Shot 97. The fallout was immediate. 50 Cent and the entire G Unit crew were banned from Hot 97 indefinitely.
But you said, look, the New York City hip hop died. I didn't shoot it.
No,
you
no,
did it.
No,
because
you pulled
nobody
it apart.
else can.
You pulled it apart. You had everybody beefing with you. Anybody did a record with Joe or Ja was beefing with you. At a time when we could have had unity and everybody came the marquee artist,
could not.
The new artist, the marquee artist.
The Game, too, became radioactive. For Hot 97, this wasn't entertainment anymore. It was dangerous. But for fans, it was the stuff of legend. 2 of the biggest rappers in the world had turned a media appearance into a real-life shootout. After the shooting, both camps went into damage control mode. Game downplayed it, claiming he and 50 were face-to-face like men, that there was no real violence, just energy. In another version, he said 50 slipped out the back to avoid him. The stories never lined up. Over the years, Game changed his version multiple times, even saying he pulled up 70 deep with his crew. 50, on the other hand, told his side calmly. He said Game had gotten too big for his boots, forgot who helped him rise, and started disrespecting the camp that made him famous. Behind it all, Jimmy Henchman was stirring the pot, manipulating Game, taking shots at 50, and adding fuel to every fire. It was one of the most chaotic media moments in rap history, and it solidified Hot 97 as a war zone for hip-hop beefs. After the shooting, Hot 97 had no choice but to protect itself. G Unit was officially blacklisted from the station and Summer Jam for a decade. But here's the thing, you can't keep 50 Cent out of the spotlight. Even while banned, his presence loomed large over every Summer Jam lineup. Whenever his name came up, ratings went up. Whenever someone dissed him, crowds went wild. Hot 97 hated the drama, but they also needed it. 50 was ratings gold. Eventually, the ice started to melt. By 2014, the relationship had thawed just enough for one last shot at redemption. 10 years later, 50 was finally cleared to return to Summer Jam. Hot 97 kept it under wraps, planning a surprise G Unit reunion. The anticipation was huge, fans were buzzing, the energy was electric. This was supposed to be the moment 50 made peace with his past. But in true 50 Cent fashion, peace didn't last long.
I said I ruined New York City.
He'll blame me for New York City hip-hop.
It is your fault. You ruined New York City hip-hop. You went after everybody. You tore
He
it down.
was the program director during that period.
It was a great time.
No new artists came out of the city.
It was a great
It's his
time.
fault.
During that same period, one of 50's affiliates, Slowbucks, posted a photo online with 50's estranged son, Marquise Jackson. Now, for most people, that's harmless. Just a picture. But 50 saw it as betrayal. He publicly commented under the photo, "This picture was a bad idea. It was a warning and fans knew what that meant." When 50 Cent hit the Summer Jam stage that night, the energy was explosive in the best possible way. The lights were blinding, the crowd was deafening, and the stage looked more like a neighborhood takeover than a concert. Nearly 100 people packed behind him, G-Unit members, friends from Queens, hangers-on, hype men, all bouncing as the beat pounded through MetLife Stadium. And right there in the middle of that sea of bodies stood Slowbucks. Chains glistening, designer gear crisp, moving like nothing was wrong, as if that recent photo of him standing next to 50's estranged son had never happened. For the crowd, it was just another face in the crew. But for those who knew the backstory, tension was already thick in the air. 50 hadn't forgotten that photo or the caption that came with it. In his world, loyalty meant everything, and crossing that invisible line, especially when family was involved, was a dangerous mistake. Still, the performance rolled on. 50 was in command, running through classics, commanding every inch of the stage. The audience screamed every word back at him. But watch the footage closely and you can see it. The subtle change in his body language. The moment his expression goes flat. The second his focus shifts from the crowd to the people behind him. Then it happens. Mid-song, 50 reaches up, flips his hat backward, and walks toward the center of the stage. Within seconds, chaos erupts. Hands fly, security scrambles.
Jimmy Iovine was like, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I love the impression.
I guess so.
Dre was always like in tune, but Dre had so much going on at that time. You know, he's working on Detox, 50 is bigger than life, M's working on stuff. And so Dre was like, you know, he was there. He was like, say me.
In the blur of movement, Slowbucks is grabbed, shoved, and yanked backward. When the scuffle ends, his chain is gone and his shirt stretched. The music barely stops, but the crowd feels it. Something wild just went down. Cameras catch everything, phones are up, flashes are popping, and within minutes, the footage floods the internet. On social media, fans replay the clip frame by frame, freezing the exact second 50 turned his hat. To them, it looks deliberate. A silent signal, a boss move straight out of a gangster flick. Slowbucks, embarrassed and furious, doesn't stay quiet. He calls a lawyer, holds a full press conference in a suit, and tells reporters he was assaulted and robbed on stage. He promises to handle it the professional way. But in hip-hop culture, that move only fuels the fire, because going to the press instead of the streets made it look even worse. Meanwhile, 50 plays it cool. When Angie Martinez asks him about the situation on Hot 97, he just shrugs it off. He says he had no idea what even happened until he saw the videos online. No explanation, no admission, just that trademark smirk that makes you wonder whether he's trolling or telling the truth. Hot 97, though, isn't laughing. The festival that was supposed to mark 50's triumphant return has turned into another headline about violence and mayhem. Behind the scenes, station execs panic. Sponsors are furious, insurance people are calling, and once again, the same decision is made: ban 50 Cent from Summer Jam. 2 comebacks, 2 bans. At this point, it feels like history repeating itself on loop. To everyone else, it's chaos. To 50 Cent, it's control. Every scandal just reminds the world that he's still the one commanding the moment, even when everything around him is falling apart. Over the years, the relationship between 50 Cent and Hot 97 has become one of hip-hop's strangest, most fascinating love-hate stories. It's a cycle of conflict and chemistry that neither side can seem to quit. Every time 50 walks through that building's glass doors, the atmosphere changes. Producers tense up, DJs grin nervously, and the comment sections light up before the interview even airs. The station knows what's about to happen. Numbers are about to jump. Ratings spike, clips go viral, and every blog starts dissecting whatever he says next. Because 50 doesn't just give interviews, he creates events. One sarcastic grin, one perfectly timed jab, and suddenly the entire internet is talking about Hot 97 again. He'll roast a rival, call out an executive, clown the host, then flash that trademark smirk like it's all part of the plan. And truthfully, it usually is. He trolls the station relentlessly, often using them as a stage to air out old grudges or test new punchlines. Sometimes it's playful, like when he jokes about how far their influence has fallen compared to his media empire. Other times, it's surgical. He'll remind them of every ban, every slight, every headline they ever attached to his name. In one interview, he laughed and said, "It's hot out here, but you don't see them nowhere." Classic 50 Cent turning a single sentence into a diss, a meme, and a soundbite all at once. But the truth runs deeper than jokes. Hot 97 needs that controversy. The station built its identity on raw New York energy, unscripted moments, real emotion, and unpredictable drama. And nobody brings that better than 50 Cent. He's the perfect storm for radio, a street legend who became a mogul, still talking like he's on the block but thinking like a billionaire. Every time he sits in that studio, the audience gets both, the unfiltered street talk and the master marketer controlling his image in real time. And that's the real power dynamic here. 50 doesn't just survive chaos, he weaponizes it. He understands that conflict drives clicks, outrage fuels algorithms, and controversy sells. What used to be beef in the streets is now engagement on social media. Where other artists see danger, 50 sees opportunity. Every feud, every ban, every onstage altercation becomes part of his legend, stitched into the larger narrative he's been building since Get Rich or Die Tryin. When Hot 97 bans him, he looks untamable. When they invite him back, he looks unstoppable. Either way, he wins. And ironically, Hot 97 wins too. 50's chaos keeps them relevant in a world where radio struggles to compete with streaming and YouTube. Each confrontation, each viral interview reminds the world that the station once synonymous with New York hip-hop still has a pulse. So the cycle continues. Ban him, bring him back, act shocked when it all explodes again. Both sides pretending they don't need each other, when deep down they know they do. Hot 97 might have banned him twice, but in reality they helped build his myth even bigger, turning every conflict into free promotion and every scandal into folklore. And as long as 50 Cent keeps breathing life into that rivalry, neither one of them will ever fade completely from the conversation. From the streets of Queens to the bright lights of Summer Jam, 50 Cent has always lived by one rule: control the moment or destroy it. He's gone toe-to-toe with his rivals, turned interviews into viral moments, and survived scandals that would have ended most careers. Yet every time he's knocked down, he finds a new way to rise, smarter, louder, and richer than before. 50's journey with Hot 97 isn't just a feud, it's a reflection of who he is. Unfiltered, unbothered, unstoppable. And whether you love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, 50 Cent will always find a way to turn the chaos into a headline and make sure the world's watching.